Hello, hello, hello! It's the Comics Kid 2099 here to discuss an episode of a superhero animated series, as I tend to do on Saturdays. Today, I will be delving into the final episode of Batman Beyond, titled Unmasked. If you haven't seen the episode, and you don't want to be spoiled, go watch it really quickly. Or if you don't mind the spoiler talk, then stick around and I will quickly sum up the episode before I get into the review itself. Terry is telling Max why his secret identity is so important, and he tells her a story about a boy named Miguel who found out Batman's secret and was kidnapped by Cobra so that they could find out as well. Batman has to save the boy, cue credits. If you are looking at this series from today's point of view, you might be kind of disappointed that it is more or less just a regular episode. It doesn't really end on a big whiz-bang note, nor does it really feel like much of a finale in any way. This episode could have been episode 3 of the season, and it wouldn't have made much of a difference. The creators of the show talked about this a little bit on the DVD extras. Back in the early 2000s, with cartoons especially, once you hit 52 episodes, it would be more cost prohibitive to continue making more episodes, so they would just stop where they were at 52 and didn't really think they needed a big epic finale episode. Disappointment in this episode was no doubt even higher because it aired over 9 months after the previous episode and on another channel no less. By the time it finally did air, I imagine many fans have been salivating for the last episode only to see that it was just an average episode. But this really was the beginning of the end for animated shows not being so serialized, as other shows that follow Batman Beyond like Avatar: The Last Airbender, Justice League Unlimited, and Gravity Falls all have taken a page out of the books of live action shows and have striven to make the final episode something a little bit more special and spectacular. But if you go into this episode knowing that it's not going to be the grand finale of Batman Beyond, then it's actually a pretty cute little episode. For the second time in this series, Max proves to be the worst human being in the world by joking with Nash, you know, the jock that hates Terry, that Terry is Batman. Terry is understandably upset. What right does Max have to go blabbing his secret? She acts like it was just an innocent mistake, but then she turns around and says that having a secret identity is stupid, and if he told people like his mom and his girlfriend, then his life might be easier. Okay, Max, you might have a point, but you were just making jokes about Terry being Batman to Nash, not Dana or Terry's mom. And furthermore, this is not your secret to tell. But anyway, this is our segue into a story that Max says was when Terry was first starting out. I'm not really sure if this means the stuff with Miguel was set sometime during Season 1, or if it was supposed to be set sometime during Season 3, and the framing device with Max and Terry is set much later. It doesn't really matter when it's set, though. You might think this scene where Terry shows his face to Miguel is contrived and stupid, but it makes quite a bit of sense, and even reminds me of a few Batman stories from the 1970s, and even the New Frontier story by Darwin Cook, where Batman accidentally scared a little kid. This disguise is meant to be scary, and we don't often get to see it when it serves that purpose when Batman doesn't want it to. After the kid gets on the news and tells everyone he knows what Batman looks like, Bruce gets super mad at Terry, saying there's always another way. He doesn't offer any actual suggestions on what Terry could have done, though, so Terry has to follow the kid around and make sure he isn't targeted for his knowledge. Meanwhile, Cobra has a mind-reading device, which actually is convenient and contrived, but at the same time, it's a device that I can appreciate because it is a great explanation for why the superheroes would keep their identity a secret even from their loved ones. In fact, this episode is proof of why secret identities are important, and this episode might just be more relevant today than it was when it first aired, because we live in a world where we get 39,498,294 superhero movies a year, and most of them think that the secret identity is the first thing that needs to be done away with. The Iron Man movies treat the concept as a joke. Captain America and Thor didn't even have secret identities at all in their movies. Hulk hasn't really had one in either of his. Even on the DC Comics side of things, the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie and the Man of Steel movie both have secret identities, but the people closest to the heroes know their secrets. Heck, in the realm of superhero television, you have Supergirl, where her entire supporting cast knows who she is, Arrow, where the entire supporting cast knows who he is, Flash, where his entire supporting cast knows who he is. You see where I'm going with this. And with the advent of this generation of superhero movies and television doing away with the secret identity actually being a secret, this episode shows us that being so frivolous with the identity is stupid. In fact, this episode goes so far as to explain that even telling your mom and your girlfriend is a bad idea, and not just because Dana is an awful human being who might dump you next week and tell her new boyfriend who you are. But even if your friends and family are trustworthy, superhero comics and movies are so incredibly advanced in the technology that exists in these worlds that I am honestly surprised a mind-reading device hasn't been used as an argument before. How dare you keep this a secret from me? Don't you trust me? Well, yeah, but even if I do trust you, what if the bad guy finds out that you know and uses a mind control device on you? Oh, well, good point. But enough about my essay on superhero secret identities. I mentioned earlier that this episode episode has a cute quality, and that's never more evident than the reveal that the kid used his Soldier Sam doll's face as Batman's face in the mind-reading device. It's a great use of Chekhov's gun. The episode keeps making a big deal about the kid's action figure, but you still don't see this twist coming. At least, I didn't. But that's not the only twist. As Terry finishes his story, he tells her Miguel is one of the kids they were watching play soccer, and he doesn't think Miguel actually got a good look at him that night, to which Miguel smiles. Dun dun dun! But seriously, I like the idea that even though the episode is coming down hard on the fewer people who know your secret identity, the better, it still says that a little kid, the last person you would expect to have the fortitude to keep a secret like this, is able to keep it so secret that even the hero doesn't know that he knows. Classic stuff. Overall, I like this episode a lot. No, it's not the big wraps everything up subplot finale that you might have come to expect from shows that followed this one in the last 15 years. Wow, I feel old. But it's a solid episode with a lot of meat to talk about, and it's enjoyable, which is an added plus. But those are just my thoughts. What did you guys think of the episode and my review? If you liked this video, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you did like this video, I finished talking about Batman Beyond, so for the foreseeable future, I will be spending every Saturday doing similar reviews on Batman the Animated Series. And I do other videos throughout the week, so be sure to check those out as well. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.